Hey guys, welcome back to The Real in Real Estate with Mel and
Jennifer.
And this week, as promised, we're going to talk about the final step in the real estate transaction, which is settlement. Also known as closing day, you may hear people say, kind of universally, they use both terms. So now settlement is just it's not about colonies.
Yeah.
We're not settling
Not back
things.
into the,
It is literally just means that is when you're going to go and settle the balance. And essentially that's why it's called settlement, is because all the numbers will be settled that day in the sale and it will be recorded with the county and officially put into your name.
Yeah, you'll get a title. You'll actually have your name will be on a title for a piece of property that will be recorded in the county that you live in.
So with that being said, what does that look like as a buyer? So your real estate agent is going to be working with a title company. Whichever title company that may be will vary. There are tons available.
Yes.
And they will be doing all of the back end work. So they're doing all of the tracing on the property. So when you buy a home, you can't buy a house that has any liens or anything like that on it. So,
and you don't want to.
Right. So they do the property search on the county records using the tax information, make sure that there's no liens, nothing outstanding, that when you purchase that property, it is going to be free and clear and yours. Yeah. So that is essentially the lowdown of what the title company does on the back end of things. They do a lot of things that are important, but that we don't see.
Right.
So.
And it's really important because the fact is you don't want later some kind of having a tainted title and someone come and say you don't really own your home.
Correct.
That is frightening. That's never happened to me. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
You have a good title company, you'll never have that problem.
Exactly. So, and it's just that is their job, and that is why they're great. So they're protecting your investment, just another level of protecting your investment.
Yeah.
And they also protect you in the fact that the seller's title company and the buyer's title company are usually different.
Yes.
And so they are each doing their own searches and making sure that those information is lining up. So you can know that it is correct. So what's going to happen is we're going to schedule you, or your agent is going to schedule you to close on a specific day. And when I say close, I just mean sign. That's kind of what I use as a universal term to sign. But you're going to go and you're going to sign your loan documents. And this is what gives the mortgage company power to actually pay off the seller's mortgage and or pay them the money for the purchase of their home. And then you then own the home. You cannot actually fund and record until all those documents are signed, because you have to acknowledge that you're taking on the debt and that you understand all the terms of the loan.
And the beauty is in the last, and I'm not going to say how many years, but the loan documents that at closing or at settlement nowadays went from a stack like this big to five pages.
Yes, they have made it a lot simpler where a lot of things are done online. So you're going to sign a lot of documents electronically. Right. And then you're going to have a much smaller packet when you actually do get to sign for your home.
And it just goes over the things that you already agreed with your loan officer, and it just is really recapping it, and they just sit there and then you sign in front of a notary.
Yes, and just so you know, by this point, just as Jennifer just said, you will have gone over all of this information with your loan officer. You will have a strong understanding of what you're signing. So
and also
and the title company goes over it with you too.
Yeah, and we forgot to mention that 5 days prior to you going to settlement, you do a final walkthrough of your property, due to the fact that just hoping that that someone decided to knock down a wall. It's just basically looking at the property and agreeing that it looks the same as when you originally looked at it in the first place.
Correct, and not the things that were.
That the refrigerator was
left. That those things are still going to be there.
Yeah.
But yes, that the refrigerator is left, the washer dryer, those items. So you will want to do that final walkthrough with your agent.
Yeah.
So in most cases, the settlement process takes about 20-30 minutes. Yeah. For majority of the clients. So it's really not super long. A title company usually can meet you on your lunch break, or you can go to their office, you can go before work. It's pretty flexible. But as a general rule, if you're wanting to get your keys the same day, you always want to go in the morning. So that's just a heads up, little tip.
Yeah, before 3 o'clock.
So, and yeah, and really that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it with settlement. You're gonna need to bring your ID. They're gonna verify your identity, and your realtor is likely going to be there to answer those questions about some of those documents maybe you have questions about. But like I like to tell people, unfortunately, this is all very standard paperwork and you can't change it. So
That's right.
if you have a problem with it, you're not going to buy a house. Yeah. Like, I mean, it's really that simple because we can't redline the contract.
Not
you can't initial, you can't.
Yeah.
And in most cases, these mortgage companies are not going to change keep in mind that all of this has been reviewed by legal teams and is for the protection of everyone.
Yeah, and that's why there was that time frame between financing and appraisal, which we already agreed on, goes to settlement. We've already seen those numbers. We should have seen those numbers prior to it. There has been...
There's just most of the stuff in there is just a lot of legal.
Well, and I had a problem where they actually had a typo. So it is good, again, to have your real estate agent. I did go to closing with my client, and my client was actually doing, I'll say, a lease back, something we'll talk about later. But anyways, they were owed a certain amount of money, and instead of it being 240, it was typed as 440. And they were first-time home buyers, getting married, first-time home, literally just didn't know even what to look for. And I remember that being one of the differences in our kind of negotiation. And so I knew that number. The title company, although I sent them the documents, didn't necessarily know that number. So again, having a competent realtor with you, especially as a first-time home buyer, I mean, he thanked me because he didn't even know that it was different. He just didn't know.
Right.
And so that is a time where it was a typo. That is something that's fixable.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's not what I'm mainly meaning is like the, not numbers. If numbers are wrong, you obviously can change those.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, like the, disclosure paragraphs and things like that are very standard. Those things we can't change. So, but there is actually a fun little document that you sign when you, well, here in Utah at least, that allows the lender to make typo changes for you.
That's true.
So that you do not have to go and re-sign everything if it's missing a middle initial or something like that.
Yeah.
But essentially, you're going to sign. You're going to be super happy. You're going to take pictures, and then
we're going to take pictures. Yeah, we're happy.
And then we're going to call you usually within 4 hours of signing if you're doing the same day funding, and let you know that you are recorded, and we'll arrange to get keys. And that's pretty much it. So, all in all, although overwhelming for a lot of people initially, it's pretty painless. If you have a good team you're working with, it does not have to be a nightmare. It does not have to be this, a lot of people have this preconceived notion that buying a house is going to be so difficult.
Well, and that's the reason that we felt like we wanted to do this channel, is due to the fact that it helps you see all the back work that we do. So actually, I've had people who have gone through the process, and we've gone through due diligence, and we don't really talk a lot in between that, maybe between that and finance and appraisal, but we're so used to seeing each other and talking all the time because we've been looking at homes. And
they text you and say, is everything okay?
Yeah. Are we missing anything? And you're like, no, we're all good. We're still good. So
yeah, there's a lot of gaps that will happen.
But we're doing it. It's just that you don't have to worry about it. And that's the best part.
And we don't want to be annoying and say, hey, just letting you know things are still okay.
Yeah.
But news is usually good news. Yeah. After you've gone under contract.
Exactly. So we're hoping that through this little series on first-time home buyers, that we've helped you walk through the process, giving you a little more knowledge on the things that you'll see as you go through that, and hope that...
well, I just want people, for one, like we kind of discussed briefly, like don't be afraid to ask your agent questions.
Yeah.
Like we hear way too often that people don't want to bother their agent, but like that is what we're here for.
Yeah.
And I like to remind people, as an agent, you do make good money. So you should not feel bad
Yeah.
for asking your agent that they're going to get paid for their time, is what I'm saying. So do not hesitate to ask them any question you may have. And I know with my clients, I have an open door policy. They can text me anytime. It might be too late for me to respond, but you can text me at 2 a.m. and I'll respond in the morning.
Yeah.
So, and if I'm awake, I'll respond right then.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just what I just want people to not be afraid and kind of take that stigma away from like asking questions, because so many times people don't want to ask questions and then they assume wrong.
Right. And that's what we like. We like it that it runs smoothly for you. We want it to run smoothly for you. And we're hoping that this will help you have a positive experience.
Right.
And if, again, you have questions if you're in the process, text us. So funny. Make a comment. And we'll get back to you and hopefully be able to answer your question for you.
I mean, and obviously we've given a few times, and below in the description box you'll see our websites and things like that. I mean, our contact information is readily available on there. Yeah. So if you do want to text us or call us,
we'll answer.
It's not hard to find our info.
Real interesting.
But that's pretty much it for this week. I mean, we're going to go over, I actually would just love to know what you guys want to hear about.
Yeah. One of the things we're thinking of, and in the next series, I think we're going to start to go over fun little acronyms. Things that you'll hear realtors or you'll see, what's an F&A? You already know that if you heard us, but you might not remember. What's an F&A? We already talked about it. The Rep C.
Yeah.
We have lots of little acronyms. I had a person, what's an EM? We already told you what an EM is.
So mainly do vocabulary.
So we're going to do a little vocabulary maybe. So stay tuned. We like to make it exciting. You have any other ideas, let us know.
Yeah. And for now, that is The Real in Real Estate. Until next time.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye. Have a good night.
See ya.
Day, whatever time it may be.
It is.